Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. And first of all, I have a question for everyone. Everybody speak French, or there is some people who just speak in English. So please, if you just understand English, could you send a message in the chat? Like this, we continue in English. If everybody speak French, we are going to continue in French. It's easier for everyone. Okay, so okay, we are going to continue in English because it seems to be easier for everyone. So I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to talk about the Carnot 3B car to present our activities. And then Bernard Curec will present the topic of the day. So I'm Coraline Collet, and I'm the business developer of the Carnot 3B car. And then I'm going to present you in a few minutes the Carnot and its activity. First of all, Carnot is a French label for research, multidisciplinary research network, building economic development through technology and innovation. And they take a proactive approach in favor of innovation in companies of all sizes by offering R&D support, which takes into consideration the company economics and market constraints. So in France today, there is 39 Carnot, and 5 are led by INRAE on the major topic of bioeconomic. And more large, there is 7 Carnot dedicated to bioeconomy, which are circled in red for INRAE Carnot and in yellow for the other one. So more particularly, Carnot 3B car innovate and support bioeconomy emergencies with biotechnologies and plant-based chemistry. We are working for the big market, which are bioenergy, biomolecules, bio-based materials. And our fields of expertise are biomass production, fractionation and biorefinery, synthetic containerization, formulation and shaping, eco-design and sustainability. So there is all our, for that, we are going from biomass to functional properties. So first of all, there is all the crop production and byproducts. And after the 3 steps, major steps of processes to go to the market, like bioethanol, cosmetics, surfactants, pigment, paints, packaging, bioplastics, wood products. And all the technology we are going to use is for make process eco-design and production sustainability. Today, Carnot 3B car is all around France in different units, 18 laboratories and technical center all around France. And today we are going to speak with Bernard Curec, will make the presentation, come from the UMR FAR. So thank you for your attention. And now Bernard going to present you how to control the field pretreatment of fibers with the help of a decision support system for biosourced composite materials. Thank you. And just before, if you have any question, use the Q&R system. Like this, we can answer to the question at the end of the presentation. Thank you. Bernard, it's yours.
Okay, thank you, Coraline. So I will present, share my screen first. Okay, and then ok. C'est bon, Coraline, on voit l'écran?
Okay. Oui, oui, pas de problème.
Ok, ça va être en anglais, c'est ça? On est bien d'accord?
Yes.
It will be in English. So hello everybody. So my name is Bernard Kurek, and I would like to thank Coraline Collet and coworker to invite me to present some of our data reflection on prospects on how to control the field pretreatment of flax and hemp with the help of a support decision tool and for application in composite material. So materials reinforced by plant fiber on plant material. So just as a forward, so I am a scientist and working in a research unit located so in Reims, so in France. And this research unit is focused on the use of renewable carbon to develop a new material and to isolate and produce new molecules of interest for many applications. And one important thing also is that the transformation steps of the non-food part of the plant, in fact, by microbes, by enzymes, etc., can be put in parallel with all the mechanisms that is occurring in soil during organic matter degradation, and this makes us also in the position of working on degradation of this material and the consequence on fertility of soil, on emission of greenhouse gases, etc. So the work that I will present is a summary and wrap up of several years of work and collaboration with many people. I have listed the main contributors here in this slide. And what is important here is also the connection that we have with the industry and also with a technical research center focused on plant fibers. And this says make very fruitful collaboration, and we'll see that it is also a very good way to ask good scientific questions then and to progress further in this field. Alors, for the very first introduction here, it's plant fiber. You can find them in many places in our everyday life. So, of course, you have textile, but not just for clothing, but also technical textile and all material that can be used in other applications, like in automotive and transport, because you can make composite with this textile and put this in cars, for instance, or you can use a textile also if you want to decorate your house. So it's not just clothes. Of course, I speak from transportation. So transportation, if you look in a car, you have many places where you have fibers and also plant fiber. In construction also, you can have panels made of fiber, so medium density fiberboard or something like that. And also materials that can be used for insulation. It can be cellulose materials or other plant-based materials. You have panels, I have said, it can go also in construction, but also it can go in other type of applications, like places that you can decorate and use this in your house. And also one very important thing is packaging made with this. So this is not an extensive overview, but also just not to forget the sports and all technical materials that can be used in sports, like bicycle can be made on composites with textile and fibers. And also a tennis player can use material based on plant fiber. So just to say that it's a very common way to use plant fiber in this kind of application. And this is also a main driver for innovation. So when we speak from plant fiber, it's very wide. So in a very recent reviews, You can find very nice pictures on the summaries on all this stuff. So plant fiber can be, of course, of wood, hardwood and softwood, can come from recycled material from wood. But what will be more of interest for us is also the non-wood fibers, and almost all plants can be non-wood plant can be virtually used to extract fiber or materials that can be used then in all of the applications that I have presented just before. Another things to remind with the discussion here is, of course, I say every plant can produce fiber, but according to the origin of this plant, I mean the tissues from which they are coming, you will not have exactly the same architecture, you will not have exactly the same properties, you will not have exactly the same characteristics that are suitable to be used in applications. So this means that really, according to this very wide possibility to use plant fiber, we have really to adjust the plant fiber with the applications that we want to make with this. And this open also a very large field of investigation for new materials or improving existing materials. So today, what is also important is all the stuff related to bioeconomy, to find new value chain for bio-based material, to optimize the carbon, the renewable carbon use in all of our products, from energy, molecule, materials, etc. And then, even if it is not very new to use plant fiber in material, the way to think how to use them has changed a little bit over these past 10 years. And one of the examples that I will follow in my speech is related to flax and hemp, because these plants are produced in France, and there is a lot of development aiming at using all parts of the plant to really optimize all the carbon present in the plant in many applications, from food, for instance, if you valorize the seed of the plant, and also for materials. And here, in this website from the Pôle Européen du Chanvre, you will find all the existing chain today for hemp, meaning that you can make materials for building with a co-product of the straw when you recover fibers. And with the fibers, we have several applications, so in compound, textile, in technical textile, etc. And all these possibilities are currently existing, and you have commercial products from this. This means that you have also to, with the value chain, to reorganize a little bit the fluxes of material in every chain here. And finally, it has to be fruitful for the producer of the plants in agriculture, for the transformers, for the end users, and also for all the intermediate people involved in the value chain. What is important is that in France, we are quite well situated for this, because France is the first producer of in Europe of industrial hemp, and also is one of the main, if not the bigger one, producer of flax, so in Europe, for various applications. And in this scheme here, what is important to have in mind is that the maturity of knowledge and technological is quite good, and the application who can incorporate flax fiber and hemp fiber is also quite mature. This means that with these two plants here, it's a good model and good system for using long fiber on all the co-products in materials. But there is a lot, I said before, every plant finally can produce fiber, and can be useful to have plant matter to be used in materials. And you have a straw from co-product of agriculture, so cereals and oil, flax, and also colza. So you have development of plants specifically, for example, for energy or for materials like miscanthus. And you have other plants like orty, sorry, I don't remember the word. So and also maize or cane, so they can be used also as primary material for application. But you see, the availability is not so good. The technological use is not so mature, and also it's under development, I would say. So we have here mature system for application and use, production, and transformation of fiber. And here it's much more in development, and the way finally is to move all these points here toward this direction here to go to application. So then what are the main steps today building this value chain if we consider flax and hemp, so in France? The first things to have is that the way to cultivate according to the variety of the seeds or plants that you use for cultivation is very important and will determine a lot of parameters relative to quality of the fiber. I mean that all the practice that has been done here is a first step in the value chain. It's really the agricultural part that is important, the selection of the seeds, etc. And of course, this has to be done in relation with what can go next in the value chain. What is specific from the flax and hemp is that today with all the applications, so in textile and composite material, rating is an important steps, and we'll focus a little bit on rating after, of course. It's a field process. This is what the topic of the talk. This is a pretreatment of the plant material in soil. And this pretreatment will then orient many traits of quality related to the defiberization of the plant material to produce the fiber. This regenerate is mechanical system, so with very little chemistry in this case. So you have fiber, and then you have several steps in the transformation process to go until a final product. On here, this is a composite material that is used in cars, so very big pieces of fibers injected with plastics. And also in here, it's a house was built or reconstructed with hemp concrete. And so also dependent on a co-product, which is chainwood or sheaves from this material here. Yeah. And then what is important is mainly the quality of the fiber of the co-product, so then has to be managed together for the value chain. And this is not so trivial to do because you have to perform a lot of compromise in your system. If you have 1 kilogram of this, how much will go in this application and how much in this application, on which of the two will be the best to improve the value chain on the value chain. Yeah. So if I go again on this scheme from the Chanvrière, I just recover. You will see quality, name quality in many places. So the initial quality, what is formed by cultivation of the plant. Then you have a first transformation. This is the defiberization. So you have qualities from hemp, from the hemp fiber or flax fiber, from the sheaves obtained, also from the dust that can be used. And according to the second or third or fourth transformation step, in every case, we have a relation, a strong relation between the process used between the first and second transformation, the second and third transformation, and also the equipment that are used in the process. And this will define a second level of quality, and then according to the value chain, you can have a third level of quality until the final quality. This is what I said just before, but represented in another manner, meaning that considering the value chain, you see that the way you change the properties of your material from each step of transformation can be different. And this is also important to manage. And it's not so easy if you consider the whole system here. But what is important here is that the rating, this step here, is really determining a lot of parameters that will influence then what can occur or not in the following transformation steps. So just to summarize this part, from the scientific point of view, what is important is to see the relationships that you have between the quality of the substrate in one step of your process, then the process that you use and the equipment that you use. So the process is a succession of different modification of your substrate. The equipment will also have a strong influence on how you will modify the quality of the substrate, and all this stuff here is important to understand and determine all this relationship if possible. Yeah. From the technological point of view, what is very interesting for the industrial and can be in agriculture, finally, can be in the people making semi-product, it can be industrial making the end product, is to modelize. I have a input, transformation and output of the system, on how it's possible for them to predict, but as much as possible at the beginning, what kind of quality they have to manage to have a good product at the end. And so we have to predict it's the very first step, finally, of the raw material that can be used in plant based materials then after to have a good quality at the end. So it's good for textile, for composite, etc. For all these applications here, if we can make a first estimation here of the quality that would guide until the end, this is very, very, very good. So this is why there is several important questions related to support decision tools. And I have summarized here what is important. So that, support decision support tool are very powerful system aiming at decide what kind of action one partner in a system has to do relatively to the strategy of valorization of its idea, system, material, etc. And also how to manage all the other parameters that can come into the system to help him to make the decision. So here you see first is to evaluate the situation, then it is also to diagnostic, to make some diagnosis of all what you have to do. It is important to test, and then it is also important to have some possibilities, so hypotheses, to make to propose some solution in order to have something that can be used to take the action. There is many ways to represent decision support tool, but here I think this is the most simple that I have found here, because it can be adapted to every step where decision tool can be important. First, you have to have data, of course, to make data collection, to make your own data collection, or to recover data from other data collections. Be able to describe your system and to be able to analyze this. Then have models to predict something. So if I change one parameter, what can be done next in the output. And then also, if you combine all to make this decision. But what is also important this is one technical part, but what is important to keep in mind is that if you are conceiving one decision support tool, you can have many actors using them, and they will not use them in the same manner. So just for instance here, you can have a direct user of this tool, but then you can also a final user by providing a service. And this is the way that can be the way to use, for instance, support decision tool for rating, because it's providing service for another partner in the value chain and another actor in the value chain. But it can also be used for other clients, I would say. And in this case, even if it is agriculture or not, even in science can be also used to make progress in knowledge and improve all this system here. So I will then present you now why it's important to make a decision tool system for rating in the two applications, so in plastiology and in the building sectors. What is important is to know if there are or not long-range effects. So I say if the rating is not made correctly, is there an effect that you can measure as a final step? Because if there is no effect, I mean the technology can correct or modify or really level down the impact of the rating for the final application. It's a nonsense. So we have looked at the literature and also in recent work that we have performed to do if really there is an effect. So the two examples here will be then for composites reinforced by fiber, or for sheaths, so the co-products of fiber used in concrete. So what is finally rating? If we say this step is important, and then we want to see if there is long-range effect of this part. So if I say it's a process, a biological process, excuse me, that is performed in the field on involving microorganisms that can be found in the soil, and also microorganisms that are present initially in the plant. And you see here, you are harvesting the plant fiber, and then you put this on the field, and you leave this for between 3 and 5, 6, or 7 weeks. So on the field. Then what is occurring when microorganisms are beginning to grow on this substrate here, and according to the climate, so the raining, the sun, the alternance between this, the cool of the night and the dew in the morning. So what is going on in this system here? Because it's really a fermentation of the material, and then obviously you modify all the characteristics of the plant, and this is what is to be controlled, because we want to have fibers on good material for this. The picture here under summarize what is going on. You see different steps of rating. These set of picture here. At the beginning, we see what is interesting for us in fiber is this part of the plant. This is the outer part of the plant. This is the long and strong fiber. They can be used in textiles. They can be used in composites. They can be used in technical textile also. And also here, this part here is the woody part of the stem, and this is a co-product that I named sheaves. So this fiber will go in composite material, and this fiber this material, excuse me, will go in the concrete materials for the building. You see that at the beginning, the structure is intact. You see the epiderm, fiber, then the material. This is the inside part of the stem. And during the retting, so after several days, you see that the modification occurs that are separating what we call fiber burden here. And the more the process is going on, the more you separate the fiber. So just you see also that it can, if it is really staying a long term in the field, you can even begin to separate the inside part of this fiber, because fiber bundle is a set of several fibers associated together. And this, when you ret a long time, you have not to degrade too much this part here, because you want to have quality of the fiber, I mean, stiffness, strength, and so on, who are important characteristics to keep for application. Also, you see that a part of the material can be also degraded here. So this means that even during retting, you have some modification with the inner part of the plant. And then obviously, for application, this will also have an effect. Well, I said before, okay, maybe you change the material, you can recover fiber, but with the techniques on all the transformation step, maybe you can level down this variation, or you can control the quality during the process to have material. It's not so simple, in fact. So what I would like also to say here, it's to control this retting in the field. So we have to know who is doing the work and how it is proceeding. So the main characteristics on chemistry and physical aspect, etc., can be good depicted. What can be done also is when we look at the microorganism involved in the degradation, we see that there is just look at the colors. It's not so important the details. You can do to the paper if you want, but if you analyze the diversity of the bacteria and fungi present in the soil and present on the plants, and if you also analyze what is the diversity present on the plant during the retting, so this is the retting stage, so from no retting until the end, so what is present on the plant and on the soil, then you see that there is some variation during the retting, and this can be associated to equilibrium of population, bacteria and fungi working together or not, in competition or in interaction, to degrade the plant material. So, and then according to the nature of the microorganism present on the plant, on the microorganism of the soil invading the plant during the system, you will find different kind of enzymatic activities, and this different kind of enzyme will perform these degradations that you have seen here. So meaning that they will hydrolyze hemicellulose and pectins mainly. They can to some extent degrade the lignin part that you can find here, but there is some characteristics quite so they can be measured quite easily, and to describe very precisely what is going on. So this means that there are existing tools to follow this, but they are long and they are quite tedious to make an experimental procedure. So, but we have all the information needed finally on the tools to describe precisely what is retting. So to summarize here on the retting, so we have some parameters that has been demonstrated in projects here that we have performed on retting. So the nature of the soil can be important. All the local climate, so raining, temperature, etc. The way this is the environmental, I would say, part of the rating. What is important is how the agriculture is done. So meaning if you want to recover the seeds or not. And also, obviously, the duration of the rating is also important in the process. What is also important to consider is microbiology. So what you can find. So we have evidence some particular bacteria or fungi in soil also and in plants. And they were described before in old rating system with water, who is now forbidden due to pollution. So this means that there is still some work to do to understand what kind of microorganisms are present here doing the work. Also enzymatic activities. So how we to have oxidative, how we to have hydrolysis, we have to have the combination of the two for the good rating. Other parameters that can be used is the color. You see that it's quite gray here, and the beginning it's not this kind of color, and also the chemical composition. And then after trying to make correlation between several parameters, so some main indicators could be used. So the year, I mean that from one year to the other, many parameters can change. So we have really to consider this parameter here for the rating. The duration, of course, and then it's all related to the composition and the yield of the fiber and the fineness. I mean, you see here, if you have bundle, it can be very big bundle, or if you go further, you can have a separation with smaller fiber. This can be interesting for application. So I would say the rating is quite well understood as a concept of different steps going on. We have some data on explanation on who is doing what and what time during the rating. We know that all the environment is important for this, and all this stuff now has to put into together in order to go progressively to our model or so on. But still, okay, if I know this, is there an influence or not, or all this rating on the final properties of the fiber? So I come then now finally to the example. It's sure that we have an effect, even a long-range effect. Even this effect is not so strong, but it is real. So I mean, if you consider just the fiber in different steps of the rating, so you see the color change during the rating from quite green to gray. So we have performed all the chemical analysis and determination of mechanical properties of the fiber and so on. And you see that when you have the rating step, so this is quite overrated. This is a good rating, 6 weeks at this stage here. And this stage is this one. You see that if you consider the Young modulus, for instance, of fiber bundle, there is not so much difference because the variation is very strong, but some parameters can be different. So the tensile strength and even the diameter of the fiber. So these two parameters can impact then after. If you make composite material with this has been performed on the tests, so small pieces, so to test the mechanical properties of the material. And then we see also that there is some effect on this effect is quite different relatively to the rating stage. So if you are rating too much, it's not good. This is just a polymeric material, not reinforced by the fiber. But you see that there is an improvement on some variation according to the rating degree. So even if there are several steps from the rating, recovering of the plant, defiberizing, and then putting this into material, we see some difference. Yeah. This has also been confirmed by other studies, so in other contexts with other material. And clearly, here in this study, it's non-controlled field rating. So it means they have used plant as they are and managed in a traditional way, I would say. So there is change in some of the physical parameter on the chemical parameter of the fiber that can impact the chemical properties of the fiber. So this means that even in the composite material, then you can recover some of the deleterious effects that can occur during the rating, and you can also have a positive impact if this rating process can be managed properly. So I go then to the second example of this. So if we look at the building sector, so we use hemp sheaves, and then the process is much more simple because it's a mix with mortars or cement or material that is then cured and then producing so the materials that is used in the building. So what we have seen is, according to the rating degrees, the hardening of the concrete is retarded by the presence of extractives, and these extractives are coming from the rating of the material. I mean that if the plant is rated, then you extract more molecules, and all these molecules are retarding the hardening of the material. Here, as an illustration, you see this is sheaves that are put into a pastilla, and then has been included in Portland cement. On what this zone here, area is an area where there is no hardening of the material, and you see it's very clearly defined. When you can have this directly on the sheaves here, you see there is two different places. This is hard, so the concrete is good, in fact. And here it's a place where the cement has not hardened. And by using labeling, labeled flags, C13 labeled flags, and by measuring how far the components are migrating in a sample, we see clearly that is correlated with this step here. So you have a gradient of material coming out and progressively going out. And this is a competitive effect of the hardening of the Portland cement with the diffusion. So it has to harden quickly before the molecule can go too far in the system. Also, as before, it has been confirmed by other studies, and here it's also a work performed by FRD. So you see that the rating degree increase the amount of product that can be extracted or coming out of the sheaves. And then this is the energy of heating of during curing. And you see that this is without extractive. And when you are rating the material, the hardening, so the reaction of hydration coming to hardening of the material is hardly modified. So here there is a good example on the relationships that we have on the extractable, the hardening of the system on this study, particularly the color. Maybe the color can be a first indicator for this. So you have seen that there is really an effect on the rating at the field on final product. And this is a first example of decision support systems that have been developed by qualifying rapidly the geometry of the sheaves, and then determining some parameters like of the shape of the sheave, its color, and also the residual fibers that are present, etc. And this is the first step for a simple decision tool to be used to give the label, quality label of sheaves in the building sector. And this is important because if you have a label, if it is controlled, and if you can manage finally the quality at the field, directly at the field, for the value chain is very important, because the way the people are interacting together is based really on measure on confidence of the quality of the material that is being used. Okay, then, but this is not sufficient. It's not enough if we want also to go in other materials like composite. So we have tried at the research unit, this is the third part of the speech, we have tried in the research unit to make a generic system, because we know that it can be important in the next step of transformation. And so can you manage this? Because the field is very complex, so it's very wide first, a lot of variability between sample here. The soil can be different in a step. And even if all is really managed properly, well, it's not so simple. So we have decided in some studies to compare an in vitro system, so or even a control system with what can occur in a field system, in a controlled field system. So then it was decided, so objective of this project was to create a new system, a new model for rating in order to go toward decision support system. As I told before, first we have to know something, we have to look at the literature, we have to build a theoretical model. We have to validate the model and also to find and to produce some data, and then to make some analysis. Obviously, it's a software-based system, so to program all the different parameters of this, and then try to evaluate and simulate and try to calibrate at the first step this model. And this was the model what's called biorating, and we present you some the aim of this work and then some results. So the main finally the main challenge of this was to make good controlled experiments that are really mimicking what is occurring in the field, and producing data that can be used to simulate what is going on the plant fiber, and also to simulate what is going on the field, because you have soil and you have the material on the soil and all the exchange that can be the fluxes, etc. They can go in this system, this reactor, in fact. So for this purpose, we have developed in a climatic chamber a system where soil has been extracted from real soil, has been prepared for this, has been put into like a mulch or stratified system, yeah, representing what can be seen in the field. So directly in the soil, and by controlling the light, of course, the duration of the light, the daylight and night, to control a system has been engineered to make rain. So you can control the amount of rain that is going on the system here, and also the temperature and the relative humidity of the system. And try really to see and to follow how the microorganism of the soil and the microorganism present on the plant will grow on this system here. And the main challenge was to have something which is closed and representative of what is going on the field. And in fact, this has been done, and then the next step is to recover the material and then to produce all the data that are needed to describe more precisely as possible all the phenomenon of the rating on the plant. So on the whole straw, the chemistry was determined, the color of the surface of the straw was done. Also an investigation with image and microscopy to know how the physical state of the surface was, And if you go in the tissue, so by looking, so this is the periphery, this is the fiber, and this is the woody part of the stem, to determine the enzymatic activity that have been present in the system on making hydrolysis and modifications of the plant component. So spectroscopy was used, but also chemistry. And also by just looking by macroscopy, just its complex system, just looking by macroscopy to see how the tissue were modified. And all this stuff here was done during time, so it's a dynamic to have a dynamic view on the rating in vivo and in controlled manner on our system. And then when the data are available, then it was necessary to build a model to represent, to conceptualize what is going on the different tissues by making compartments soluble, so the extractive, for instance, products that are not labile, products like the sugar present, the other component, etc. In the parenchyma and also in the fiber, because fiber is a technical system, and here it's the environment where the microorganisms are growing and so on. And then it was also important to look at systems of plant degradation on solid state fermentation, liquid fermentation gives a lot of different models they could be tested and used for this. And so several options were tested in order to describe the more precisely and the more accurately as possible what is going on during the rating with all these compartments and all the data that I have shown before that can be put in all these compartments here. And finally, the test was done. Here you have an example on all the several compartments. So here it's, for instance, the labile compartment here, release of CO2, and so on. On what is measured and what is simulated was quite good. And this is encouraging and good system because it was possible to simulate how the tissue were degraded and how the microbial process occur in this during this control rating, and give the first comprehensive data and first model of a rating that has been done in control system. And then what is important is several of this data here has been also compared to what is done in field, and there is quite good correlation in data produced in this case. So this is a first important step for a generic model for rating. Then the second step is, if this is running quite well, is what is going on model if you consider the biomass that is on the soil and how the physical and physical-chemical parameter that guide finally this solid state fermentation and mulch fermentation and whatsoever in this system here and give rise to what has been described here. So it has also been done in collaboration with other laboratories working on more agronomical modification of the plant material on the soil. And then several parameters has been determined or tried to be determined, and particularly how the water content in this system can change, and how you can have a flux exchange on between the upper part of the mulch and the lower part on the soil. You consider that there is some rain, the morning, so you have the dew coming, then you have drying, then you have emission of gas from fermentation process, etc. And how can we manage this in order to explain what is going on the material during the rating? And the first simulation was done with water, and it was quite good because water is important because this will determine also if a reaction can occur It can be also a transport media between different stratification of the system here. It can also determine many parameters of the growing of the different microorganisms, the response of the microorganism, and even then change what is going on during the rating. And so this is an important parameter. And finally, it could be simulated quite well between the different parts, upper part, lower part, and also what is going on the soil. So this means that finally, after I would say if you accumulate 4 or 5 years, all data accumulated together, there is a new part of in the virtual soil platform at INRA. They can be used for modelize and simulate rating. Then you have also a new module for mulch, adapted particularly for the rating with the water behavior, water behavior in the system during the rating. And then what would be interesting is to combine and to have all this stuff in order to have really an operative concept for the rating. So then I think this is important because we have really shown, or we know that rating is a crucial, it's a cross point for the application, even if mechanical, technical, chemical system can change a little bit the deleterious or enhance also the positive impact of rating. It's clearly it's what is value for the agriculture, on what gives value for the next step. So then we have 2 different levels for this as conclusion. I would say from the I will begin from the scientific. For the scientific part, we still have to know who is doing what, because even if population are characterized, the dynamic is not so clear, and you know that the substrate is modified during the action of the enzyme, the microorganism on the enzyme, and then it can also change to a little bit how the interaction between the microorganism can be done or not. And clearly, this is something important, I think, to follow. And also, what is important is the nature of the soil. It's not so clear if it is important or not, but still it's a support on the redundancy of activities, or so can maybe play a role, a buffer role, I don't know, in the system here. What is also important for the scientific part is still we have seen from the fiber bundle to the field, there is a lot of hierarchical structures on the fibers, how they are modified from the macroscopic level to the microscopic, even nanoscopic level in the fiber is important, because it's enzymes. In fact, it's a non-enzymatic system who can be involved. It's water who is playing a role in the system. So what are the structure after rating, and how could we finally imagine to know how this modification will impact finally so the next steps. Even there is long-range effect on rating as a whole, probably it could be interesting to have information here. Then from the technical point of view, there is some simple indicators coming out. The color could be one, but it's not universal, really. It's good for instance, for sheaves and for incorporating sheaves in concretes, but it's not so clear if you look at the technical fiber. The spectral characteristics can be interesting because they give an overview of chemical composition and even on contamination coming out, or products coming out. And the combination of the two can be interesting also, but then color is simply to detect. Spectral can be on, but combination takes much more time, and from a technical point of view, the process has to be very quick for a decision support tool. Though this is also then important to have this in mind. Then, if we want to modelize the rating process, we have to be able to recover data. So to have the data, and the data is obviously depending on how you proceed in the cultivation of the rating, and to make models. And then it could be interesting to couple the rating models with the transformation decisions support tool, because transformation also is modifying to some extent the quality, and then obviously is to manage the quality of this. And how can we combine transformation during the process with the modification in the field, for instance? And what is really important, I could have put this in red and bold. It has to be simple for the industrial. So if we have a lot of samples, so 200, 300 in a day to analyze, you cannot take 5 hours to make a wet chemistry, etc., to an indicator. So it is really to be simple for this. But this is the main challenge for the support decision system. We have a model. Develop a model which is good, but it's quite long to have this. So how can we use then this model and make some good instrument that can collect data, and then go in this model and then predict what is going on later. Okay, so I have finished the presentation. So I hope that my English was understandable for everybody, even the French present in the audience. And I thank you for your attention. Of course, I just say again that it was a collective work involving many people, many labs. And since there is still a lot of work to do if we want to move further on this very challenging topic. And I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Bernard, for your speech. We have one question. What about fiber extracted from invasive species such as Japanese knotweed? Is there any work on this kind of species?
Really, I don't know. I think, considering that we have to explore, in fact, the diversity of plant material in general, I am sure it's possible to find papers on such topic, but I cannot say more than this. Yeah.
Okay, so there is no any more question. You can ask them in French if you prefer. There is no problem. Or if you have any other question, or we are waiting a few minutes. So I think there is no more question. So thank you, Bernard, for your speech and for your presentation. And thank you, all of you, for your attention and your time. And last one. So can we imagine rating operation fully out of field at industrial scale? Sorry.
Yes. So this yes, it's possible, of course, because so the rating is a very old process on the knowledge that we have on enzymes and system working during the process is quite good. So finally, the biotechnological solution is one of these. So meaning you can imagine to use enzymes in systems to hydrolyze the components that are needed to be hydrolyzed in order to separate the fiber. And this is possible, but the problem now is to manage all the consequences of this, meaning the water. So you need some water to make enzymatic reaction, or you can imagine to develop system with very low water content, but still with active enzyme. And then also the same is to control what is going on. And you have seen that straw is quite inhomogeneous material, and the way the enzyme could penetrate or not in the straw is not so simple to solve. If you use fiber, it's probably more easy, but you have also, even in fiber, there is a lot of variety, so you have to control also the parameter. So technically, it's possible. It has been done. For the moment, it's quite expensive, and still we have some environmental issues related to the water management and also the hydrolysis product management and so on. But technically, it's possible, yes.
So we have another one. So don't hesitate if you have more. Are there some research that try to bring in certain species of bacteria or fungi in the reading process?
And I'm not sure I understand fully. You mean that people are using other bacteria to make the rating? Is it this?
I think if
To try
Mr.
Because okay, so I will answer to the two questions, the two levels. The first is we have a good, a relatively good overview on at the level of the phylum on what is present during rating in fungi and bacteria. I say there is a lot of microorganisms producing the same kind of enzyme, etc. So they need the functional redundancy is strong between the population, and what we don't know exactly if first we have all species characterized and present on we don't know, and also what we don't know if there is some interaction and more interesting interaction between the microorganism during the rating. This is the first answer. The second, if we want to improve, for instance, or control, would be to add other kind of microorganism. And then again, we come back to biotechnology. So this means that you can use other fungi, to wood degrading fungi, for instance, or wood degrading bacteria in fermenters in order to control the rating. This is also possible. Yeah. Then the advantage of the field is that you have some environmental advantage that you cannot have if you make this in fermenters. And also it's also not so obvious to control microorganisms in solid state fermentation if you want, for instance, to use other strains or fungi to make a controlled rating. Yeah.
So we ask, we give you the solution, the response that you want to your question, I hope. There is no more. Just okay. So it's
okay. If you have some question, because I know sometimes can be difficult to interact in video, but you can send us a mail, no problem. And I will try to answer and give you your information that you want to have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it's okay. Everyone asks their question if they want. So like Bernard said, you can send us an email if you have more, or if you need more information, or want a particular information. So thank you for listening, and
thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for our invitation, and see you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.